Ideal Toys Motorific Car and Test Track. Motorific was such an awesome toy back in the day. The set I had, I inherited from my older brother. It was the Alcan Highway Torture Track. Had like a figure eight, and a little bypass area and stuff. Loved that toy to death when I got it. I can't remember, I think my brother got it sometime in the 60s. I inherited it from him from the early 70s. And one of the nice things about getting that toy from him is the Motorific series have been out for such a long time. You can find extra track, you can find extra cars, really easy at yard sales. I used to go yard selling with my mom all the time, and one of the things I kept a lookout for, besides model trains like HO scale stuff, was Motorific items. I used to pick up extra pieces of track, extra cars. I had a rather large collection of the stuff before I got out of it in the mid to late 70s. Now, earlier on this channel, I did a video about the Motorific computer car, which is a really cool little device as well. But my memories basically are playing with the original Motorific car and track sets. They're a really cool toy to mess around with. Now, this particular one here, this was sold at a gas station chain that was called DX. And basically, you know, back in the day, a lot of times you would find gas stations that would sell various items inside the store, kind of like a variety kind of store kind of thing. And I do remember going to gas stations, you know, back in the day that had toys and stuff that were branded to that gas station that you could buy. And some of the other toys that DX had that you could buy, which I think are really cool, was there was a railroad one called a Red Diamond Railroad, little electric train that you can pick up from there. They had one called the Amazing Aqua Car. I would have loved to have one of those. It looks like a really cool little toy. And of course, one I would really would have liked to have, never did get it, was the Getaway Chase game, which it was a slot car based toy that was battery operated, and you had different routes that these two cars could run around on the track as you try to catch the other player by make your car drive different ways to try to intercept them. Always thought that was a really cool toy. May get one sometime in the future to make a video about, but it's one I never had that I think is really cool. I do remember in the toy catalogs, not the toy catalogs, the comic books I used to read back in the day, that every once in a while you would see ads for Motorific toys in the comic books. I always loved the little cartoon illustrations of the toy advertisements in the comic books back then. Thought it was really cool. Some of the comic books my brother had, the older ones, had a lot of those ads in them, because that's the heyday of Motorific was in the 60s. Kind of dropped off in the 70s. Although in 2003 or so, GM Motors put out a Motorific set that I've never seen before. I've never seen this toy at all. I happened across a picture when I was doing research for this episode. I can't remember where I got the picture from. I can't even find the picture again. But it had a nice little track set up, and what was different about it is the cars looked a little bit different, and you actually put little hop-up parts on the cars themselves to customize them. And plus the track was, you know, more darker color with the little lines like you see on the road. Stuff like that. It looked like a really cool set. If I ever come across one, I'll pick one up to do a video on it, but like I said, I've never seen these before at all. Anyway, that's enough rambling. Now, the set I had for my brother, it came with a really cool white Thunderbird, a 57, I think. Thunderbird is what it was. Had a little red stripe on it. I love that car. I've been trying to get another one to put back in my collection to put with this, so I have two cars. But, you know, eventually I'll find one. They go for like 30 some odd dollars on eBay. I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to see if I can find one. I'm out and about, because I do see Motorific items still at the larger flea markets or antique malls. I've seen a few Motorific sets at antique malls over the years. Never have found an Alcan torture track, though, out in the wild. I could buy one off eBay if I wanted to, but nah. Anyway, boy, I ramble a lot. It's like, shut up, William. But anyway, these sets originally sold for like $3.98 at DX, and I think, I can't remember what the conversion is dollar-wise, but I want to say it's probably 40 some odd dollars or something like that in today's money, somewhere around there. I'm sure somebody will correct me down in the comments down below, which is fine. That's cool. Anyway, let's take a look at the box. Really cool little box art here. We have the car crashing through one of the obstacles that's included. You see the other two obstacles here, the other three obstacles in the back that comes with it. Really cool little design. These are nice little sets. I think they're really, really neat. I like on the back right here, it says, rattle, okay. Oh, you hear something rattling inside? Oh, that's just fine. Don't worry about it. So we got to flip this around because it opens up the other way. So we can take a look at the pieces that came with the set. So right here, I'm going to put some stuff over here to keep these things weighted down. Right over there. Now this little package right here that came with it, this is what housed the little guide pins that you would snap on the bottom of the Motorific cars. So you can have like buy extra Motorific cars that don't have guide pins on them because they can run on the ground as well. And you can put these pins on them and run them on the track if you wanted to. So it's kind of cool to have this little envelope. These are kind of hard to come by. I've actually got two of them. Of course, here's the instructions, which I put in a nice little plastic baggie to try to help protect them because they are very delicate. I've got these scanned in as well. Got them over on the Toy Tomb Facebook page. I think I also put them on archive.org as well. But here we go. The Action Toy of the Year. DX Motorific Car and Test Track Instruction Sheet. So it shows one of the layouts you can do right here. Gives you all the included features. Track and all that good stuff. Open it up. Talks about how to install the motor if you have different motors you want to use. I believe they came in different types of windings for different speeds, if I remember right. How to put the batteries in, put the chassis on, the on-off switch, the conversion pin, how it attaches, just snaps onto the front right there. So you can modify any of your cars to run on the track and take them back off. You want to run them on the ground again. Of course, here's the pin by itself. Talks how to assemble all the different pieces, you know, like the brick wall assembly. Got to make sure you put a rubber band on the bottom so the wall will spring back, close again once the car goes through it. How the track's assembled, how you put your hazard signs on. Describes the different tests on here. So, for example, the shock test. This section of the track was designed to make a car pitch violently as it passes over the bumps and thereby test its shock absorbers. Ability to dampen its shock. Then we have the jump test, which is not actually a little jump test. I don't know if GM and Ford and the guys actually jump cars with the ramps when they're doing the testing, but it's kind of cool they got this in here. The car kind of just falls off the end. I imagine if I got a higher speed motor, maybe I can get it to actually jump. We have the steering test. Lets the car, you know, steer side to side really quick. Then we have the crash test, which is pretty cool. Crashing through a brick wall. Here's some of the different layouts you can make with the parts in this set. Pretty neat. I kind of like this one right here. That's kind of a cool looking set right there. Get another car, more track, more hazards, more tests with a DX Motorific accessory set. So on the back, it talks about how to get the accessory set, which that's what this is right here. It's also a little advertisement for it. It has a little bit of color on it. So you get extra pieces, you know, extra little items, extra track, like a crossover, things like that. Another little jump you can get to expand your layout. Pretty cool. It's such a really cool toy. Always really love that test set I had for my brother. Of course, here's a little hazard signs. Got the steering test right there. Then we have the shock test, the jump test, and the crash test. Boom! And right there's the brick wall that you want to crash through. If you look on the bottom right here, you can see where you need to put the rubber band to get it to spring back to the center again. Right here's the car. This set came with the Mustang, which is one of the reasons why I picked it up. Nice little white Mustang. You see in the bottom here, you can actually steer the wheels and lock them in place to make it do like a circle on the ground. This shows the pin already installed on it right there, the guide pin. We can pop the body off. You can see the motor in the back. You can snap in there, change out the motors, 2 AA batteries. It's a neat little design. Of course, we have our different pieces of track here, and these snap together really cool. You basically put them at an angle like this, and then lower it down. Pretty awesome. We got these little tabs here on the side that you actually mount this to a board to make like you would with a train layout. So you can make a motorific layout on a board or something, and maybe put some scenery and things like that. Like I said, that would be really cool to do, to make a permanent layout and have scenery and everything like that on there. Let's see what else we got here. That's the base for the brick wall right there. Right there's the steering test. Whee! Get multiple of these and line them up and really put that car through the wiggles. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Then here's the shock test. Little bumpity bumpity bump. Of course, way back here in the back, here's the jump test, which is not quite a jump test. The car has to move pretty quick to actually fly off of that. Like I said, the one I had back in the day, they would kind of jump, but mostly they would just fall off the end and go down into the slot down here. But it's still kind of cool. And of course, here's a neat piece of track. This is a switch track, and when the car would pass over it, if it went this way, it would actually move the switch. So if a car was behind it, the car would go this way and switch. You could also do it manually as well. Now, if I made a permanent layout of one of these, where I put scenery and everything like that, one of the things I would do is I would get some solenoids, and I would attach them to these arms here so I could activate these remotely to make the cars go different places. I think that would have been really cool. However, before we get to the test track, let's take a closer look at the Mustang itself. It's got a lot of great detail on it. This one is kind of yellowed a little bit. It's not a pure white like it used to be. I could probably fix that with some retro bright. Got some nice details here in the front grille. Got the nice looking tail lights. So we pop the body off here. So we can see the motor, which, you know, the motor is removable. You can pop it out. Find a different type of motor to put in there. Get ones with like different strength of magnets to give you more speed or different windings, that kind of thing. This is kind of cool. They made it modular like this. It's pretty awesome. On-off switch is right here underneath. Move it to the side. It moves these contacts over. Turn it on. And of course you can steer it. I can snap it over like so. Get the car to run around in a circle on the ground if I wanted to. Click it back straight again. There we go. And we use 2 AA batteries. And let's see, which way do these go here. I want to say, there we go, the little arrows. I don't know if you can see them or not. There's like a little arrows, a point. Positive goes this way. So we go positive there. And then the arrow goes the other way, the opposite way. Like so. And we turn it on. Oh, go back. There we go. This runs pretty well. I oiled up this motor and everything like that, cleaned up the contacts on it, make sure this run is as good as it could. That's pretty awesome. Go ahead and turn it off. Go beside. Now let's take a look at how the rubber band mounts on the brick wall right here. You can see I got a little yellow rubber band installed. I got it hooked on these little hooks right here. So when the wall moves, the rubber band will pull it back into position again. So the wall will close every time a car passes through. Pretty cool. Okay, now let's put the Mustang through its paces. I guess old Willie should have put that 9-volt battery in it.